Interesting quote today by Daryl Morey. He was on Colin Cowherd's podcast on The Volume, and he was talking about things they need to do to change the NBA game for the better. And here's what he said.
I like 58. I like every team plays every team 2 times. The playoffs, I 100% agree. Shorter is better. I would have it one and done. There's a reason everyone tunes into every game at huge ratings in the NFL. It is literally one and done. And the NCAA tournament in 63 games gets more TV money than we do in our entire regular season. Any sport should want more games that are close to the Super Bowl. Nothing's going to beat the Super Bowl for a little while, though. I think the NBA can pass the NFL in my lifetime for sure, for their biggest game being a big deal.
I'm not sure about
that's where he went. That's where he went off the rails right there, because that ain't happening.
112 million to 36 million. Those are the two highest rated games. One in the NBA, 36 million with Michael Jordan in the finals. 112 million with the NFL Super Bowl. But 112, and Rob, some people even think that's low. Some people think 112 is low. I don't know, but 112 is one out of every 3 Americans. Yeah, that is insane.
But there's 330 million people. So
that's one out of 3.
Right.
That's a ton. I mean, 1 out of 3 people watching one event.
Yeah, but easily you could say that 2/3 of the country's not watching.
Yeah, I mean, Rob, have a little
Chris,
context
I'm just saying, but that could be the argument, is that 2/3 of the country didn't watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's like
Chris,
saying.
Let's not get off the track. I'm just trying to say that the people
you're
trying to say.
You're belittling 112 million
I'm not
viewers.
belittling. I'm trying to tell you what the other argument would be.
What argument for what? Argument for what? Saying the Super Bowl is not popular?
No, they could just say, as much as you think is as big as it is, 2/3 of the people aren't watching. That's all. I'm just saying that's the argument that they can make.
That don't tell me it's not big.
That's not what I.
Because there's no other event.
Okay, that's not
that comes close to having 1 out of every 3 Americans.
Okay, but that's not. That's the point is,
like, it's all relative.
Right, it is relative because you're talking about an event. But I'm saying that people could say everybody's not into sports. 2/3 of the country didn't even watch the Super Bowl. Okay, that's would be their argument. Okay, let's get to this. I think the problem I have with that is what he was talking about is. It's easy to
talked
say
about 2 things. Remember, one and done, and the 58 game regular season.
Yeah, but the only problem
that was the first thing he was talking about. 58 game regular season.
It's easy to say that. Where's the pushback to say, okay, so the owner's going to take less money, the player's going to take less money? That's really what it comes down to. You know, do you want less? Because with less games comes less money. So that's why I don't believe that they'll ever get to that point of taking less. Even if it was better for the game, they don't. Well, it's a business. Of course,
we get the money. Although Mark Cuban has made the argument that if there were only, and I've never heard 58 is the lowest I've ever heard. Like, I actually would love it if they cut it to maybe 65 or something. I never thought 58, but he makes an interesting point. You play each team twice, so 58 games. Okay, but Mark Cuban's made the argument, which could make sense, that because every game meant more, eventually you just raise the ticket prices because it's a bigger event to go to, and then you can make up the money that way, or at least come close to doing it.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see them ever going the other way, or giving money back or cutting it short, because for most arenas, Chris, not all. There's some teams that struggle with attendance. But most of them can sell out the 41 home games in the winter.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean,
that's not the issue.
I don't even think it's worth talking about it from a money standpoint.
Right.
I'm just saying for the as a fan, would it be better? I think it would. 58 games, 60 games, whatever. I think it'd be better. I think baseball should go to like 100.
Nah,
I mean, it's just too many games. As much as I love basketball, I don't need to see 82 regular season games.
Right. I don't have an issue with the games. If I don't want to watch, I don't watch. If I want to watch, I watch. If the game goes long, I'm at the ballpark, Chris, I get up and I get in my car and I leave and I listen to the last 2 innings in my car. I'm not caught up on, oh my God, another game or whatever. If I want to watch it, I watch it. If I don't, I don't. So it doesn't bother me how many games are played. I want the quality of play to be better, not so much how many games. That's what I want. I want players to play who are supposed to be playing, not taking nights off. Those are the things that bother me more than how many games there are on the season.
All right, what about the one and done?
Of course,
Playoff.
any tournament is that. I told you that. College basketball isn't great. It's the one and done tournament, which is great. Yes, whenever it's sudden death, it's going to be better. There's no doubt about it. You probably could sit here and go,
the NBA should do that?
I don't think so. I don't think you play a whole season where LeBron James or your top players could get knocked out off a bad night. You can't play the whole year for that to happen. I think that's the reason why they don't want to. And number two, again, and I know we're trying not to talk about money, it's a money thing, Chris.
No,
that's why it's 4 out of 7.
That's to me,
in the first round, 4 out of 7. Why? It used to be 2 out of 3.
I mean, I guess Morey's trying to make the argument that, you could charge more for advertising and all that if it was a one and done, and that would make up the money. Look, I don't know. I mean, I would think, as you said, that you're not going to make the same amount of money. But beyond that, I just don't think it's good for the sport of basketball at the NBA level to have a one and done. Because one thing we always say, Rob, is just about every series, when it's a 7-game series, the best team wins. There could be injuries and all that, but for the most part, the best team wins.
If it's one and done, Michael Jordan wouldn't have 6 championships.
Right.
He wouldn't.
I mean, he might. I don't know.
You could
Maybe
have a
he would have
bad
won
night,
some of
Chris.
those that he lost.
Right, but I'm just saying,
what I mean?
you could
Like,
have a
who
bad
knows?
night,
But-
too. You could
Right.
have a bad night, or somebody has a great night, or somebody makes an unbelievable shot in one game, right? They can't beat you 4 times, but they can beat you one night.
Right.
And
He may have won some before he lost,
Right.
ever won it. And he probably wouldn't have won all 6 of those that he won. You're right. Or the 6 in a row.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right, there's a
he
chance
might have won 1 or 2 earlier in his career, and who knows. But yeah, I don't want to see that. Like, ultimately, Rob, I want to see the best team. I want to see the best team crowned. Morey talking about football, but there's another reason that football's one and done.
They can't,
Because it's football.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they play 17 games.
Because you
That's
can't
it.
play more, right? You can't play more, put their bodies. Basically, you're in like a car crash, Chris, every 10 seconds, every 5 seconds. So you can't do that. If they could play 2 out of 3, right, and get the ratings and money, you don't think that the NFL would want a series 2 out of 3? Yes, they would.
The
if they
owners would love it. They push that for
would take
17.
it.
If you and I were
Absolutely.
saying they don't need another regular season game.
No doubt.
No, you're right. And I mean, I'm with the sentiment of let's create more urgency. And to me, this goes for basketball and baseball. Let's create more urgency and lessen the regular season games.
But can I give you how you could do that, Chris? Let me how you could do that. Even with keeping the 82 game season. How about you cut the amount of playoff teams so that it ain't automatic that you're making the playoffs? So now you have to play. If you didn't have 16 teams, and I'm just throwing this out, say you only had 8 spots each in each conference. Chris, you couldn't be taking nights off, and you might not make the playoffs. It would be a better game and more urgent than having where more than half the league makes the playoffs. Would you agree with that? The sense of urgency to play?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't want them to lower the playoffs.
No, I'm just saying.
Because I think the playoffs is tremendous.
But I'm just talking about for urgency of the regular season if you had less playoff spots.
No, it certainly would. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. So I'm with you there. I mean, I wouldn't want that to happen, but that would be one way to create more of a sense of urgency. I just think if, like I said, to me, I could definitely stand fewer games in baseball and basketball. I think society's different now. There's so many more options. We talk about it, Rob, with college basketball. I mean, one of the reasons regular season games in college aren't big anymore in basketball is because of oversaturation. The games are just on all the time. And so I think that'd be the way to do it. But I think 7-game series are fine. And remember, one of the reasons, Rob, I know money had a lot to do with it. But one of the reasons they went from a 5-game first round to a 7-round was also 7 games, was also, Rob, that it's less likely that you have an upset. You know what I mean? Like in a 3 of 5, you could get a team, the best team doesn't necessarily always win that. And that's what they wanted to avoid is, look, let's you remember when it was 2 of 3?
Yeah.
I mean, the Showtime Lakers who won it in 1980 got beat in the first round because it was a 2 of 3
Yep.
in the next year. Magic's second year. So I don't think you want that, even if it gives you more urgency. I don't think it's worth the trade-off, Rob. Because I think the playoffs, I think people like 7-game series.
Yeah, I don't think you have to have it in the first round. Like 3 out of 5 is cool. I'm cool with that. 7 sometimes, and we talked about it before. Sometimes there's a lot of 8 versus 1s, Chris, or whatever. That just aren't good series, and not all of them, but there are a lot that are just 4-game sweeps where teams probably didn't deserve to be in the playoffs, and those are the ones you wish you could avoid. And then there's some really good matchups, 8 versus 1. What was that?
We've seen a few upsets.
What was that?
Golden State beat Dirk in Dallas.
Yeah,
Jeff Van Gundy got to the finals as an 8.
What was the one Avery Johnson with? Was that Dallas?
That was Dallas.
Seattle.
Golden State beat them.
Oh, Golden State.
Yep.
You remember that? Yeah,
Yep.
that was one of those classics. I still remember that.
That was when Dirk was MVP, and he had to accept the award after getting beaten the first round by Golden State.
If I remember correctly, Avery changed his lineup for Golden State
because they had been beaten, I think 6-0 was it?
Right, or something. So
in
he
the
changed
regular
his lineup,
season.
right?
Yeah.
And
Avery. Remember, the start of Avery's career was fantastic, Rob.
Right
in Dallas, and then they went to the finals, and they lost that lead. They were up 2-0. And then they lost the next 4 to Miami. And then, he had the year where they got beat by the 8th seed, and it just was downhill from there for him. But